Ida Hedin lived in Melrose and purchased this lot in Sauk Centre. Eric moved his family from Melrose to Sauk Centre, and they lived in what they called the Little House, which had been moved from 2nd and Main. It's the spot over here where the garage is now located. That's where what they called the Little House was. It was a 2-room building with a chimney and a wooden stove. The Hedin family lived in the Little House with their kids, Edward, Patty, Paul, and Mons, while they built this larger home. The home was finished in 1896. The Little House was at that point moved to its current locations. Hedins did have boarders in that Little House. The boarders were 99-year-old Sarah, Grandma Doherty, and servant Elizabeth Kelly. Eric had a shoe store on Main Street, located where Brett Free's eye clinic now is on Main Street, kind of across the street from the theater. Patty Hedin owned the home here in the 1930s. Her brother Mons and his family owned the home for the next few decades. He was a municipal court judge in town, and he passed away in 1969. His wife, Char, 29 years his junior, was a local school teacher here, and she lived here 41 years until she passed in 2010. It was then passed on to her daughter, Catherine. No one knows why the Hedins built such a glorious home, but Char said, the last Hedin to live here, I think it's because they were people who wanted the best that they could afford. The stone foundation and the house were built in 1896 for the grand total of $1,300. Times have changed, the prices have changed, haven't they? Carpenters paid very close attention to details. It took them 3 weeks alone to make the dining room cupboards. Upstairs, there were 3 bedrooms and a room which was originally built for the family maid. That room for the maid is accessible from the kitchen up a back staircase. Downstairs is typical of many Victorian-style homes. There's a living room, a sitting room, a dining room, and a kitchen. Also in the downstairs are huge oak sliding doors that can be used to close off sections of the house during winter time. Like the cupboards, Char Hedin commented the doors also had carvings on them cut out by the original carpenters in 1896. Char said that really at the point she lived here, the only changes the house had seen was the addition of a bathroom in the 1920s and more counter space in the kitchen. There used to be a barn on the east end of the lot over here where the garage is now. The family had 1 cow and a couple dozen chickens. Extra eggs were sold at the time for 15 cents a dozen, and milk was 5 cents for a quart. Eric died in a drowning accident in 1902, and he left his wife Ida with the 5 children to raise. One of their children, Patty, returned to Sauk Centre to care for her mother, Ida, who died in 1926. Patty was a cashier in town for 30 years, and she kept this home alone until her brother Leo and his wife Char returned to town in 1949. This home has the distinction of 2 very well-known visitors. Charles Lindbergh, from 60 miles away over here at Little Falls, used to visit here when he was a boy. And the Hedin family was very good friends with Dr. Lewis's family. So it's safe to say that Harry Sinclair Lewis had been in this home before too. The home is now owned by Dan Ewer, and he's working hard to restore. And actually we have an additional little bonus. Dan Ewer is standing here today and might be able to share a couple of nuggets about his home.
Thank you. Now, yeah, I don't know that I'm so much of a bonus, but I can help maybe add a few tidbits. Yeah, interesting to note. Just re-emphasize the red building you can see tucked behind the house there. That is what we call the little house. That's where they lived during the years they were building the big house. So that family, like you mentioned, a family of 5 or 6,
5 kids.
lived in that house with just a wood-burning stove, 2-room building. And then later they had the boarders, you know, the Grandma Doherty and their servant. But yeah, Queen Anne style Victorian standard features are the pocket doors you mentioned. So like 3 pocket doors about this wide, you know, slide into the wall. Wood floors, lots of stained glass, including the stained glass that I've added. I guess those are the highlights. Happy to answer any questions. Oh yeah. I don't know why I didn't point that out. That's a distinctive feature of the home, that curved glass window. Not many people around that are willing to work on that or do any kind of insulation work, but yeah, cool feature of the home. Had a hailstorm a couple months ago, so the paint is a little rough, but we'll get that done. Yeah. Oh, worth mentioning. Yeah, I'm a professional historian and an amateur genealogist. So I was very pleased when I moved into the house. I didn't know the home's history, that it was in the same family since it was built. 3 generations, 4 different families. So I love the house history aspect and the family history. And of course, Sauk Centre, you know, I checked out Sauk Centre when I moved here. Very pleased with this neighborhood and this town. This is not one of your dying small farm towns. This has actually got a vibrant, welcoming atmosphere for any of you that are visiting.
So this, I assume, 10-foot ceilings in this house?
Yeah, pretty high ceilings on the first floor. Yeah, 10 or 11 feet. Yeah, thank you.
Join me in thanking Dan for chiming in here. Thanks, Dan.
Welcome to Sauk Centre.
Okay, let's move on to our 3rd stop on the tour.